Put a finger down if you were in this 10-year soul tie with your baby daddy ever since high school. And as you got older, you decided that you didn't want to be entangled in that soul tie anymore. So you decided to go on a 3-day water fast for God to break the chains of the soul tie. You went on the water fast from Friday, Saturday to Sunday. And by the time Sunday came and the fast was completed, you decided to go to church. When you got to church, your pastor was not preaching. It was another lady there preaching. At the end of her sermon, everybody came up to the altar. She prayed over everybody, but she skipped you. When she finally got to you, she laid hands on you and she spoke these words. Mind you, you've never met this lady in your whole entire life. And she looked at you and she said, the soul tie that you've been fasting for is broken. And you immediately burst out into tears. And she began to put her hand on your belly and says, all God needs from you is a yes. And at that moment, you were delivered from everything that you were battling. You left church that day and you were super, super excited to serve the Lord in the best way that you knew how. And so a couple days later passed by and your baby daddy comes back around and he's acting like Prince Charming, but you knew it was a trick of the enemy, but you just didn't want to believe it because this is the person that you wanted to be with your whole entire life. And he's acting like a Prince Charming now. So why not? Let's give it a shot. So you end up giving it a chance, even though you heard God tell you, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But you wanted your family so bad and you wanted your relationship to work because you really love this man so much. So y'all end up moving in together and it was good at first, but then suddenly all hell started to break loose and you found out that he was cheating on you with multiple women, and he cheated on you on Valentine's Day and he cheated on you during Christmas time, and he was just cheating on you. So as the year went on, the relationship got worse and worse and worse and worse, and you spent most of your days crying, depressed, and stressed out, asking God to pull you out of the relationship. But you didn't really want him to pull you out of the relationship because every time he showed you something, you wouldn't leave. Then your daughter's birthday comes around and you caught him sending a video of your daughter to another girl, but he thought you didn't see it, but you definitely saw it. So then as the months go on, he decides that he has to go on a business trip. Y'all were already on bad terms, so you ask him, could you go on the business trip with him? He says no. So in your mind, you like, something is up. So when he comes home that day, he has a fresh mani and pedi, and he has got his down there area all nice and shaved and cleaned up when he usually doesn't do that. So you ask him about it and he's like, man, what are you talking about? I always do this. So he goes on a business trip and you guys barely talked that whole weekend, and he didn't really try to reach out to you, and you were really pissed off, so you didn't really try to reach out to him. And so when he got back, it was almost time for you guys to move into your new home because we needed to upsize our home, because at the time your mom, your daughter, his son, his sister, and him were all living together. So we decided to get a 5-bedroom, 4-bath house. The whole time that we were looking for the home before we got approved, God said, do not sign a lease, do not sign a lease, do not sign a lease. But you wanted to sign a lease, but you didn't want to sign a lease. But he was saying, like, you need to go ahead and sign a lease, because if you don't sign a lease, then nobody's going to have anywhere to live. So you felt bad, and so you decided to sign the lease. But mind you, your car starts acting up and your transmission goes out. So y'all end up moving into your new home, and 2 days after that, you lose your job. So now you're completely stressed out, and all you needed in that moment was him to be there for you, but he couldn't be there for you. So you go to him about it, and he's not trying to hear it. So y'all get into this big argument, and y'all decided to break up the next day. But were y'all really breaking up? Because y'all live together, y'all do everything together, y'all sleep together. So you wasn't really breaking up. So then you find out a couple of days after that you're pregnant. And so you go to him and tell him that you're pregnant, and he's not trying to hear it. And he says that you need to get rid of it. And you're like, no, I'm not getting rid of it. And he's like, no, you are getting rid of it. You're evil. You're evil. You're evil. Go have a baby by somebody that wants to have a baby by you. And he starts to call you all type of names, and he starts to stress you out more than you've ever been stressed out in your whole entire life. So he wanted you to get rid of the baby super bad, to the point where he told you if you didn't get rid of it, you were going to be a single mom and he wasn't going to be helping you with anything. And that you and your mom and your daughter that you both have together are going to have to find somewhere else to live, because he's going to move out, and that you guys were never going to be a family again, and he wasn't going to be dealing with you in any type of way. So at this point, you're super duper stressed out, and all you could think about is your mom and your daughter and everybody else that lives in our house being put out on the street. So you decide, look, whatever, I'm not going to argue with you. Let's go do it. So he takes you to go get the abortion, and in that moment you did not want to do it, but you felt like that's the only choice that you had. So you went through with the abortion. Hold on. Mind you, before you even got pregnant, God told you to protect yourself and do not get pregnant, but that went in one ear and out the other. After the procedure, you guys got home and he was there for you the first day, but then the next day he was gone. Coming to find out, he had went and got his own apartment, and you, your mom, and your daughter were left to figure everything out on your own. You had nowhere to go. Where were you gonna go? Because you just lost your job. You just lost everything. So now you're in a spiral depression, and at this point you don't even want to live anymore. But thankfully God is so good that he provided a home for you guys. Shortly after you guys go y'all separate way, you find out that he's in a new relationship. Mind you, God was showing you dreams after dreams after dreams after dreams of him being with a specific woman in your dreams, but you never saw this woman. So when you find out who he was in a relationship with, it all started to make sense that this was the person that he was sending the pictures to. This was the person that he went on the business trip to see. This is the person that he left you crying, depressed, stressed out, dealing with an abortion by yourself to be with. This was the person. So you go to the person and you tell her everything, and you've come to find out that she knew about you the whole entire time. So you let it go. He's trying to play both sides, like, no, I'm not, this, and that. And you just are tired of it. You sick of it, and you just let it go. And then months later, you find out through your little 5-year-old daughter that they're expecting a child together. Put a finger down. And 1.5 years later, God has been dealing with me. God has been healing me. And I want to share my testimony because I want somebody out there to know, if God tells you no about somebody, if you see the red flags, do not ignore them. I could literally sit here and blame him, blame her, blame everybody else, but I'm the only one to blame because God warned me over and over and over again. And I decided not to listen. I decided not to do what he told me to do. And so the consequences that came with that, I had to deal with that. I had to take full responsibility for the part that I played in my own pain. Through all of that, God has turned around what the enemy meant for evil. He's turned it around for my good. And now I have my YouTube channel, which if you're already not subscribed, please go subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. I have my YouTube channel where I talk about everything that I've been through, where I vlog, single mom life and just all types of stuff. And I'm just really happy that God allowed those things to happen in my life, because had I not been through that or dealt with that, I would never be who I am today. That situation made me who I am today. That situation brought me closer to God than I have ever been to him before. And I am so grateful for everything that took place. If you took nothing else from this story time, when you see a red flag, please, 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 please take heed to that red flag. Listen to God when he says no. No means no. And he's not saying it to hurt you or punish you or not allow you to have something you really want. He's trying to save your life. He's trying to save your soul. If you know somebody who's going through this situation, something similar, or whatever the case may be, please repost this video. Please let this video reach however many women that it can reach. I want to help somebody. That's what I'm here to do. I did not go through all of that for nothing, okay? I love y'all. Please follow my TikTok, and I will catch y'all later. Bye.